Hi friends, I heard you're thinking of going to grad school and you're not sure. You're kind of on the fence or you're about to start grad school, and I'm gonna tell it to you. I'm gonna give it to y'all straight. I can only speak from my perspective, but let's chit chat it up because I kind of wish I had this conversation with somebody else, even though I've still gone ahead and did what I was going to do. So a little background, my name is Onose. I just graduated from Georgetown University, period, go Hoyas, with my master's in integrative medicine and health sciences. I absolutely loved the courses. I loved a couple of the courses we took. I went in there for some specific courses. I loved the director. I loved our teachers. They are absolutely amazing. It is a great program, but it is especially great if you're planning to go to medical school or you're planning on staying on the practitioner route. Even if you don't know what kind of practitioner you want to be, that will open up your eyes to the kind of practitioners that you have. The caveat on the other side of it is if you're hoping for you to be handed a silver spoon to find a job when you're done, you will not be having that experience. My apologies to you because I am currently in that situation. The program is more geared towards people who are going to medical school, and if you're looking for a job in the job force and it doesn't have anything to do with medical school, sorry to that man. Sorry to that man, yeah. But I guess that's what the career advisory development people are for. I just wish they could tell me what exactly I'm supposed to do in this life. But you know what? It's my purpose in this life. That's not somebody else's idea, not somebody else's thing to figure out for me. It's for me to figure out for myself. So let's go into what questions you should ask yourself if you're thinking of going to grad school. Okay, the decision to go to grad school was a decision I made because I was tired of working as a nurse. So I've told this story a million times on this channel. If you're new, welcome. I was working as a nurse. I worked as a nurse for a year. I got my bachelor's in nursing, bachelor's of science in nursing, my BSN, wrote the NCLEX, got my RN, worked as a nurse in the emergency room for like a little bit under a year. Realized it was not serving me. I was super burnt out. I was not myself. I had lost all ability to feel emotions, and something needed to happen. So I really just applied to grad school very spontaneously. It was like in the middle of the night. I was having insomnia because I worked night shift, and I was just dilly-dallying as usual. Sleep used to be the most boring thing in the world to me. So at that time, I literally couldn't sleep. I would try to sleep and I'd be like, this is still freaking boring. Like, I need to get up and do something. So I was just like on my computer looking at things, and I come across this program, and I was like, huh, this is really interesting. I am interested in integrative medicine because I grew up a lot with holistic medicine and holistic practitioners around me, and so I decided to fuck around and apply. It's really funny because around that time I was also like in the same concept of applying to medical school because I wanted to become a doctor at the time. And so I had sent my teacher, I asked them to write recommendation letters for me for my master's program. I was like, hey, I'm just applying to this. It's just really quick. Can you just write me a rec letter? But I also want you to keep in mind that I'm going to reach out to you again soon for my medical school letters. And they're like, yeah, sure, like we'll send it in, and whenever you're ready for the medical school letters, reach back out to us. So they sent it in. I wrote my essay. I had my best friend, I think. Actually, I didn't want her to know at the time that I was applying, so I don't think I let her read it. I don't know if I let anybody proofread that essay. I think I showed it to one person to proofread it, and that was all, because I didn't want anybody to know that I applied to grad school because it was really just a whim. It was like a mess around and find out kind of thing. So I didn't show anybody the essay. Maybe I showed one person. They read it. They're like, yeah, it looks great. So I submitted it, and I did not think about it until I got my letter that I was accepted. And I literally remember. I remember I had gone to the bathroom to hide on one of my shifts as a nurse, opened up my phone to scroll it, opened up my emails, saw a letter from Georgetown, and I was like, oh my goodness, I got in. That's so cool. So I went to go tell my, you know how you have like a nursing family? I went to go tell my nursing dad, and he was like, wow, like what are you going to do? I was like, I don't know. And it was so funny because I was moving into my new apartment that week, and so my dad was coming down to move me, and at that time I didn't really want him to come down because he was coming down because I was not doing what I was supposed to do to get into medical school, which was study for the MCATs again. I told him I got in. Yeah, I was still deciding if I wanted to go because of student loans, but girl, I figured that y'all should have some context about why I decided to go to grad school to see if this makes this any easier for you. I do not mean to tell a long-winded story at all. back on track. So ask yourself, why are you going to grad school? That's like the first question I asked myself was, I really didn't ask myself any of this. Everything I did was on a whim, and it was my intuition leading me, and I was in such a deep dark place that I needed to get out, and so that's what happened. But for y'all, for me, after having gone through this program, if I was in the right state of mind and I was applying to grad school, I would ask myself, why are you going to grad school? Because a lot of grad school is to further your career. So I really did feel as though I was paying, the money I was paying was for the connections I was making, rather than like, I was learning a lot, but I guess I was learning lots. I was being exposed to a lot of the best doctors and practitioners in their field when it comes to integrative medicine, because there's so many practitioners and so many practices that we actually don't know about. I did not know about Ayurvedic medicine, like I did not know about ancient Unani medicine, and we were having practitioners from these medicines come to speak to us. Like we had a seminar every single week, and we had like a different practitioner from top of their field every single week. So you're paying for like the knowledge you're learning from these amazing connections, and afterwards you could actually have lunch with these speakers. So you are having this very easy, at your arm's grasp opportunities. And I'm sure that lots of grad schools have this, like I'm sure a lot of grad schools are also like that, where you have lots of connections literally at your fingertips because your professors are so deeply connected into that community. Make sure you use those resources, make sure you use the people that you have to the best of your ability. Why are you going to grad school? Are you going to further your career? Are you going because you want to make a transition change? I went because I wanted to transition change. But if I would go again, I would probably get like a master's in business. I would say if you're thinking of getting a master's, you don't know what to get it in, an MBA will never steer you wrong, because you can, like business, basically any job in the US will hire you. I feel as though there's so many jobs that uses the MBA degree, and it gets you so much more ahead of your field and so much more money when you're negotiating for a salary. So if you're not sure what to do and you just want a master's, get an MBA. I wish I did that. I will probably do that in the future. Are you paying this much money to go to school? Make sure it's in something that you really want to further yourself in, and I would really advise you to start working and decide, okay, I've started working, I feel like I'm really deficient in this field. Can I get more information from classes, from the certificates that my organizations can pay for? Where are other places I can go to get this information? And if you really feel like this is something that would just change the game for you, maybe you really want a pay increase that won't be changed, like maybe the number of years you need for that pay increase is way too much, and you're like, I could just go to grad school. Or maybe you just feel super passionate about this particular field of study, and you don't feel as though the certificates are giving you what you need, and you just really want to be like, want a degree in it. So go ahead and get your master's in it. As I was working as a nurse before going to grad school, it was really important for me to ask myself, just adjusting to life back in school, how will that look? If you're taking 1 year out of school, then I think that's fine. You won't feel as much removed from the system of academics. But if you've had multiple years out of the school and you've not really been keeping up with writing or reading, or you're just not sure how you feel about going to school, really sit down and say, hey, like, what do I need to put in to be successful in this degree? And what I'm learning is a lot of schools, a couple of business schools may have the like non-disclosure grade policy. I just learned about a school that has that. I'm guessing a lot of business schools are like that. So at least like passing your courses and gaining the information that you need from these courses. A really great question to ask yourself is, do I want to work, or do I have the privilege to like both work and do school at the same time? For me, it was honestly impossible for me to do that. I was working as a nurse and it was a full-time schedule, and even though it was 3 days, it just drained me so much that I could not focus on anything else. And this school that I went to, Georgetown, how our program was structured, it was giving very much like undergrad structure, because we were there like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and not every single day, but like those were just like the typical hours which run like an undergrad program. So you can't really work unless you're working like a little job in the nights or like on weekends. But even with that, because of how much work they gave us, which made it feel kind of like an undergrad program, with how much work they gave us, you really shouldn't be working in the nights or the weekend, because you need the nights and the weekend to prep for those really, really tough courses. So if you are able to do both full-time, my best friends they both do work and school full-time, but they're in 2 different programs at 2 different schools. Their classes typically run in the evenings, so it's not as though like they can't go to work during the day, even though it is a lot on them and they are very, very burnt out with everything. But they have the ability to do it physically because their classes are in the evenings, they work during the day, and they have a little bit of lighter jobs, so their jobs aren't very much like pressuring them too much. Ask yourself that question: am I doing an evening course? Can I work during the day? Can I work during the weekend? I also need you to schedule in time to, like, if your courses are very reading heavy, schedule in like time to read, time to do your assignments, time to study. Make sure you factor those in, and also factor in your mental health, because if your mental health isn't good, you won't be like good to either work or even do school. It would just be a useless waste of your whole entire time if your mental health is not good, period. So really decide what is important to you, how you can best manage your mental health during this period in time. Know that everything goes inside a planner because there's so much happening at this point in your life, especially if you removed yourself from that school environment and you worked for like a couple months or a year or however long. It's really important to schedule things because you have your real life going at this point, but you're also doing school. So you want to make sure you're able to get everything in to keep you feeling great and keep you feeling vibrant inside. It was really important for me to not shut down what else I had going on. School for me, y'all should probably just not listen to what I do, because school for me was a side gig. It really generally was a side gig. And so I was ensuring that my mental health was 100%, that I was still living my life. I was getting great grades, by the way. Like, I knew what I needed to do, but at this point you're in grad school, you should know yourself to, like, this is how I study best, this is what I need to do. If there's a class, like physiology for me was really tough because it was very like micro based in grad school, even though I did really well in it in undergrad. And so I knew what I needed to do to do well in the class, and I knew like how much time I needed to take for myself. So really factoring in that every single course, at this point you're in grad school, you've done undergrad, you know every single course requires a different amount of information and a different amount of processing for you, and how much time you need to pour into each thing for you, and like what grades you need to skate by if they do non-disclosure of grades, or just the time that you need to assimilate the information you want. So factoring those things in before you decide, okay, like I can work these shifts, you know. The most important thing you need to know about getting your master's degree is this degree isn't for anybody else. Not for Daddy Duke, not for Mommy Duck, not for your job. It's for you. Your master's degree is for you. Like, I know you may have gone through undergrad being like, I don't want to study this, but my parents say this will be the most financially stable thing for me. Or I don't want to study this, but like this is a great course, and people who study this, they always have jobs forever and ever and ever, like nurses. But I need you to know that this master's degree isn't on anybody in this world but you. It's really on you. You are the one that's taking these courses. You're the one that wants to further yourself in this field. It's probably your money. Like, if your parents paid for undergrad, grad school is you paying your way, honestly, because you are an adult right now. This is you saying, hey, I really like what I'm doing in my field. Sometimes I feel incompetent and I want to feel better in this field. I'm going to go get another degree. This is you saying, I studied something in undergrad. I didn't actually like it, even though I thought I did. Or I studied something in undergrad. I did it for my parents, not for me. I did it because it was most financially stable, not because I like it. And I'm ready to take that leap to transition careers. This is you doing it for yourself. So pick a grad school course that you want to do. Pick what best fits your life. If you want to keep it nice and financially stable, whatever makes you happy, this grad course is for you. It's your reasons. So whatever your reasons are, I don't care what they are, but this is for you and for your reasons, not for anybody else. That's the most important thing. All right, y'all, that's what I got for you today. I love you. Make smart decisions. If you asked me, was grad school worth it for me? It was what I needed at the time. I could not imagine have like gone into the workforce and done something else again. I would have left nursing. I don't know what I would have been doing. Maybe do another kind of nursing, but it was what I needed at the time. It really catapulted me into the next chapter of my life that I'm living right now. It was really good for my spiritual growth. It was what I needed, and I'm very thankful that I was able to be in that position, and everything worked out the way it did. It was amazing. Take what you need for yourself. Whatever doesn't resonate with you, you can leave it. I love y'all. I'll be back next week with another tips. So I love y'all, and stay safe. Let me know if y'all are thinking of going to grad school, what grad school y'all want to go to, if you want more information on my grad school and the program that I did. And just let me know if you have any questions. Love you.